Hi, and welcome to yoga. I'm Joanne. Thanks for coming to practice. We're going to start in a comfortable seat. So I like to sit up on a prop, like a blanket, folded up blanket, or a block, or whatever you have handy, a pillow, maybe even a firm pillow would work. If you're comfortable sitting on the floor and you can sit up tall, that's great. Then maybe you don't need a bolster, but it's always nice to have it, especially if you have tight hips. Okay. So we're going to maybe lift the flesh from under our sitting bones so we can ground. And then from there, we're going to lengthen up through the spine. Let's shrug our shoulders up, just create a little bit of tension, squeeze them up by the ears and then pull them down the back and then tag a little weight into the elbows. So you're sitting up nice and tall in a comfortable seat, and we want to make sure our pelvis is pretty neutral, so we don't want to tip forward or round back. So nice and neutral here, lifting up tall. Again, drop the shoulders. And then retract your chin back just a little bit so that your head is directly above the spine. So your ear should be right over your shoulder. So a lot of times our head is forward. So just make sure you're nice and tall. And then at the beginning of our practice, we'll close the eyes and just take a few moments to center and ground ourselves. So as you sit here, you're sort of just beginning to tune into what's going on in your body. So just notice if there's any areas of tension or tightness. Notice your energy level, how the breath is moving through the body. And we're just kind of taking an inventory. We're not necessarily trying to change anything yet. We're just noticing. And then I also like to invite folks, if you're interested in setting an intention for your practice or a dedication for your practice. So you might choose one area to focus on. Maybe it's like syncing your breath with the movement or alignment, being gentle with yourself. Maybe you want to challenge yourself today, or you might dedicate the practice as well. So totally up to you. If you want to do that, I encourage you to repeat that intention or dedication 3 times to yourself. That helps us sort of keep that in the subconscious mind for the rest of the practice. Finally, we'll begin to deepen the breath if you haven't already. So in yoga, we try to really breathe from our belly, our abdomen. We want to expand the belly. And we move the breath like a wave through the whole body in all 3 dimensions. So we expand the belly, ribs move out to the sides, chest and collarbone will rise at the top of our inhale. And as we exhale through the nose, we reverse the wave. So the chest falls, the ribs come toward each other, and we squeeze the navel toward the spine just to press all the stale air out of the lungs. And by doing that, your belly should automatically reinflate with breath. Full diaphragmatic breathing. Let's just take a couple more breaths here together. Start to move a little bit. You might even notice if you have any tension or anything like that in the body, that just deepening the breath might shift that a little bit. It's nice to just observe that. One more thing I'll say about the breath is it's nice to think about as we inhale, we're expanding everything. So we're creating a lot of space in the body internally. We're feeling that sense of expansion as we inhale. And as we exhale, we just want to sort of soften everything around the space. So we're not like collapsing or anything like that. We're just sort of letting go of any tension in the body and relaxing around that space we create, getting rid of any stale, toxic, stale air in the lungs, not necessarily toxic, but getting rid of what we don't need. So let's take one more breath here. Good, let's breathe in together. And as you exhale, we're just going to drop the chin to the chest. So keep the shoulders broad, just relax the head forward, feel that stretch through the back of your neck. And then we'll just begin to rock side to side with the head. So we want to keep the posture tall, shoulders broad. We want to keep the breath moving. So you're exhaling forward, inhaling as you open your stretch. And again, if anything is uncomfortable or painful, don't do it. So you might find a way to work that's more comfortable for you. So listen to your body. Good. Exhale forward. Let's inhale. Come to the first side. We're going to make sure our sternum is lifted, or we're still nice and lifted in the core, ears over our shoulder. We're going to send the opposite arm out to the side. Good. And then we're going to rotate our nose. So just exhale, look over your bottom shoulder. As you inhale, you're rotating the nose, tracing the line, and looking to the opposite corner of the room. So just a couple of those. This is nice to sort of open up both sides of the neck. Good, inhaling, and then you can kind of play with the angle of your head. Generally, we want to keep our chin neutral, but you might find a sweet spot for you as you do this. So I encourage you to kind of keep it a little bit loose. Good, up and down one more time. Good, let's drop the chin to the chest, bring the hand in, and then we'll come to the other side, second side. Open up, check your posture, lift, engage a little bit in the core. Opposite arm stretches out to the floor, or you could use a block here if you want something a little higher up. And then just again, look over your bottom shoulder, and then toward the opposite corner. Breathing as you move up and down. Let's do one more round. Beautiful. Drop the chin to the chest. Take that arm in. We're going to take the head upright. And we're going to shrug our shoulders up by the ears and down the back. Good. And then we're going to reach our arms out in front of us. Keep the shoulders down. And we're going to flex the fingers up toward your face and then pull them down to the floor. So flex and make sure your shoulders aren't punched up by your ears. So they're relaxed down, flex, extend and flex, extend and flex. Just getting into the forearms a little bit. And then let's make some circles. And begin to move the fingers. Keep the shoulders relaxed. We're going to move the arms out to the side. Good. When you get out to your expansive 90 degrees or 180 with the arms, we're going to reverse our circles. In the other direction, keep the shoulders soft. Good, reach the hands out again, one more time. Draw the fingers toward the head, and pull them toward the floor. Keep breathing, up and down. Good, and up and down. Good, one more time. Up and down. We're gonna keep the arms out if you can, soften the shoulders. We're gonna flex the fingers toward the face, and we're gonna rotate the arms in. So we're moving the fingers forward and then back. So we're kind of rotating the humerus bone, the upper arm bone, in the joint of the shoulder socket. So that's all we're trying to do here. So we're not really moving the arms. We're not bending at the elbows. Extend and just rotate forward and back. Maybe just a couple more of these. Keep breathing. Good, and then reach the arms up. Inhale, lift. Touching the hands, exhale, float the arms down. Bring them by the side. We're gonna shrug the shoulders here, up by the ears and down the back, open the chest. And then we're gonna reach one arm up, stretch up tall, walk your other hand out to the side, and fold, getting into our side body here. Soften the bottom elbow, and then keep the chest open here, breathing into the side, elbows soft. And then we're gonna turn our torso toward the floor. So you're gonna kind of aim down, and I want you to think about leading with your top elbow, pull it across in front of you on the floor and sweep out nice and long, and then lift up to the other side. And then open up to the side body, so we're not down yet, we're open. Give yourself that nice side stretch, breathe in. Use your exhale to fold forward and reach across, leading with the elbow. Inhale, come up. Good. So exhale, lean, reach and sweep, and inhale, lift. Good. Let's do a couple more of those. Keep the breath moving. Feeling this into the side and the hips and the spine. Good. And one more. Side. And last time. Good. From here, from our side stretch, we're going to lift up tall. Lower the arms by the side. Let's shrug our shoulders here one more time. Up and back. Good. And then we're going to come into a tabletop position onto all fours. So you might have a blanket for your knees. Nice little cushion so your knees aren't on a hard floor. And then we're going to align our wrists under our shoulders. And if you have any wrist issues, you're welcome to take fists. Great. And then we want our knees under our hips. So we're in a nice firm foundational position here. Tops of the feet are on the floor and our feet are about hip width apart. And then we're going to press the mat away from us. I want you to think about engaging your core a little bit to the spine so you're not sagging in the belly, right? So we're nice and firm here. And then the neck is long. Look down in front of you. And then we'll just take some cat-cow stretches, nice and easy. So you're going to drop your belly, send the tail and the crown to opposite corners of the room. And then you're going to exhale and round up. Press up like a cat. Good. So inhale as you open. And exhale as you round. And one more thing I want to say about this position is that you want to make sure your elbows are a little bit soft so that they're not hyperextended and locked. So yeah, so we want to make sure we're not stressing the joint. So exhale, we'll round up. Inhale, we'll open. Good. Warming up the spine here, should feel really good. And then do one more round. Round. Good, and then we're going to come back to all fours. We'll do a little more for the side body for lateral flexion of the spine as well. So start from your nice firm foundation on all fours. And then again, micro bend the joint, the elbow joint. And then we're just going to kind of lean forward slightly. And then you're going to kind of move through the side body and see if you can round your side torso to the front. And then press back. And then inhale as you come up on the other side. So we're just kind of making some big circles. So we're combining kind of that lateral flexion and that up and down a little bit. But we want to keep our core a little bit tight so we're not, again, dropping the belly because that'll pinch the lower back. So we want to kind of keep our core a little bit active. So just big circles here. This should feel really good. And then we're going to come forward and then let's go the opposite direction. So back through the side body again, over the hips, up forward, maybe a little forward and around. So this is a nice one too. You can close the eyes if you like and just sort of intuitively feel where your body wants to go. Let's take one more round here and forward. Nice. Good. Let's come back to all fours. And then from here, let's take, let's actually, just thinking here, what we want to do. Let's tuck our toes under and then make sure your arms are under your shoulders here. The other thing here is we want to rotate the inside part. I'm going to move my shirt so you can see. The inside part of my elbow comes forward and then I micro bend it so I'm not locking the joint. So slight bend, you might not see it, but that's going to bring my shoulder into the back. So that's real important when we come up to downward dog. If you're new to the pose, don't worry too much about it. But we want that nice rotation here. So, and then the toes tuck under, and then we're just going to lift our hips toward the sky. So take your time. The knees can stay bent. You might watch first. I'm going to relax my head between my arms. My legs are bent, and I'm just going to paddle one leg down and then the other. So nice and easy. So I'm in an inverted V position. Good. And then you want to also make sure that your chest is pressing back toward your thighs. Good. And then let's walk ourselves up. We're just going to kind of take a nice, easy, slow stroll to the front of the mat. So we're going to walk up to standing forward bend. So here you want to bend your knees as much as you need so that your feet, your hands can touch the floor. A nice measurement is hip distance. So about 2 fists between your feet is usually a good measurement. And then you're going to tuck your forehead to your shins. So your knees can be really bent here. They don't have to be straight. You're just going to shake it out a little bit. Shake your head a little yes and no. Good. And then let's grab opposite arms. And we're just going to hang like a pendulum. So just shake out gently. You could sway a little side to side if you want. Just let the upper body be kind of passive. Maybe take a deep breath in through your nose and sigh it out through your mouth. Good, and then let the arms go, just dangle like a rag doll. So you're just totally passive in your upper body. Feet are nice and grounded. You're gonna tuck your tailbone and slowly roll up to stand. So unfurl yourself one vertebra at a time. Coming to the top of your mat, shrug your shoulders and open your chest. Good, so now you're at the front of the mat and we're in mountain pose. So for mountain pose, we want the pelvis neutral, feet hip width, arms by the side, chin parallel to the floor, crown of the head, lifting up tall. We're engaged in our core. So it looks like we're just standing here, but there's actually quite a lot going on in this pose. So take a moment here to kind of center yourself in your mountain pose. And then we're gonna open the arms back behind you. As you do that, I want you to make sure you don't arch your lower back. So keep your pelvis nice and neutral, and then you're gonna reach the arms behind you without moving your pelvis. Reach back and lift the arms up, stretch the chest, touch the hands. Good, and then as you exhale, soften your knees a bit and then lengthen forward, hinge at your hip and fold back down to forward bend. Tuck the forehead, you can bend your knees as much as you need. And then you're gonna inhale, come into a flat back position. So hands come on the thighs maybe, and you lengthen your spine parallel to the floor. Good. And then looking down in front of you, exhale, fold. Good. And then plant your hands next to your feet. We're going to take a giant step back with our right leg. So just stretch your right leg back, and then you're going to drop the knee. You might have the blanket still here. Drop the knee and uncurl the toes. So the front foot, you want your knee right above your heel. So a nice right angle here. This back leg can be further back or closer depending on how tight you are here in this hip flexor. We want to come up so we're nice and neutral in our pelvis. We'll get the front of the hip here. So the knee is above the heel, and then you're nice and centered here. So another thing that's nice to think about in this position is we're dragging the feet a little bit toward the midline. So there's some intention toward the midline, which is going to create lift through the pelvis. Add the arms, drop your shoulders. So relax the shoulders and extend your fingers. Beautiful. Good. And then hopefully feeling a nice stretch here. If not, you can take this back like further behind you until you feel a nice stretch there. Let's breathe in and out. Good. Let's take another breath here. Good. Inhale deeply. And then as you exhale, we're going to float our hands down to frame our front foot. So you're back here, and then we're going to walk our hands back. As we do that, we're taking our hips back and we're lifting our foot toward our face. So now we're stretching this front hamstring. It can be nice and soft. You might use blocks here if you have them, if you don't need them, but if that feels better, that's fine. So, and then here, I want you to think about pulling this front leg's sitting bone to the back of the mat as you reach your heart forward. So again, the leg can be bent. We're breathing and softening. If you're at the edge of your stretch, you want to back off a little bit so you can breathe into it. So your breath is sort of moving you in the stretch, if that makes sense, hopefully. We want to think about trying to find some space in the chest, open up through the spine. Nice. Breathe in. And then we'll exhale, walk your hands forward and plant the foot. We're back here again. We're going to tuck the back toes under. And then we're going to lift the back knee. From here, we're going to lift both hips a little bit higher. And you're going to step this front leg back to meet the right in downward dog. So we're back to downward dog. Great. And then from here, from your downward dog, you should be able to just float yourself to plank pose by rolling your shoulders above your wrists. So hopefully not needing to change the hands or the feet. So now my hips and shoulders are in the same plane. So from here to here. Yeah, nice. And then from here, we're going to drop the knees right where they are, hopefully to your cushion. And we're going to plant the chest between our hands. So you're going to bend at the elbow and just try to lower your chest right down, right between your hands. Elbows are close. This is awkward S pose. So it's a little awkward. Sorry. And then let's let the legs slide out, tops of the feet come to the floor. And then inhale low, bring your heart forward. So you kind of pull the mat a little bit, elbows are close. Great. And then tuck your tailbone. You should feel no pinching in the back. Feet are glued. And the neck is long and you're looking down in front of you, past your hands or past your mat. Breathing here, and then let's slowly lower the chest. Come back down. We're going to come through upward S again, just so you can see what it's like to come into it from the ground, as opposed to coming down from above. So hands are next to your chest, elbows closed, chin down. You're going to tuck your toes, and then you're just going to inch your knees up like an inchworm. So this is the same pose from the ground. And then option here, you're going to breathe in deep, engage your core, and then press the mat away from you if you like. A little bit of a push-up, so it's a little more of a challenge. Good, and then from here, let's come back to our downward dog again. Lift the hips and float back. All right. From here, bend your knees. If you were with me on the first side, we're going to bring our right leg up. So you might step it forward, you might pull it all the way up. However you need to get your leg forward, we'll drop the back knee. So now we're switching sides. So your back knee's down, front right angle here, knee over heel. Scissor the legs to the midline as you lift. Nice neutral pelvis, beautiful. Take the arms up, soften your shoulders. Take a couple breaths here, stretching that back hip flexor. So hopefully feeling a stretch in that back leg. And if not, you can move the back leg back a little bit. And you might be able to bring your knee a little bit close over your heel. So you might shift your whole pelvis a little forward. Yeah, nice. Yep, perfect. You might feel a little more stretch there. Good. Beautiful. Let's take another breath here. Good. Exhale, slowly float the hands down to frame that front foot. And again, we're going to walk it back. So draw the toes up, hips come back, hands come back, and then open your chest forward. So create a little space, pulling this hip bone back and lengthening the heart. Beautiful. Forward. That looks great. So now we're feeling this hamstring. We're breathing and softening. And melting into our stretch, hopefully not resisting it. Good. One more breath. Good. Let's walk it forward. Plant the foot. Here we're going to tuck our back toes under. You're going to lift the knee. You're going to kind of shift back a little bit and then step forward. Come back to forward fold. So at the top of the mat, fold over the legs. Good. You can relax the arms in front of you. Find your footing nice and even and then roll up. Inhale, slowly roll yourself up. Shrug your shoulders at the top and open the chest. Coming back to your mountain pose. Beautiful. Let's inhale, reach back, open the chest, lift up. Deep breath in. Exhale, soften your knees as you swan dive, hinge at the hip. Forward fold. Inhale, lengthen into a flat back. Open spine. And then exhale, we'll fold again. Nice. Hands plant. We'll take our right leg back again. Good. So we're going to come into a lunge position. You're going to bend your back knee a little bit. Now make sure your front foot is right under your heel is under your knee. Yeah, perfect. Good. And then soften that back knee. And then use your balance. You're going to try to come up. So same thing, but with the knee lifted this time. Still working this hip flexor. And then our knees stacked above our heel. Beautiful. And then you might add the arms. You might keep them down or wide, whatever's comfortable. Soften your shoulders wherever you are. And then maybe, if you feel comfortable, you can send your back heel a little further back. Sorry, I know there's a lot of balance in this one for sure. So you might keep the knee bent, you might straighten it, but we want to keep our pelvis neutral so we're getting that stretch here. Good. And let's slowly, on your next breath, inhale. And then we'll just pivot our back foot down and open out. So you can plant that back foot down. Good. And then you might check your alignment here. So the front heel can intersect your back heel or back arch, or you might go a little wider for better balance. So we're still bending this front knee, and we want this knee opening. We want our hip opening to that knee side. So, and if you know, socks might be slippery too. So sometimes it's good to do bare feet, but whatever's going to give you better grip. So now we've got our back foot planted. Yeah. And then add the arms. Good. You're going to gaze to the front hand. Good. Warrior two pose. So my shoulders are still over my hips. And then, yeah. Good. Let's take one more breath here. And then we're going to just reverse our warrior. We'll take a little peaceful warrior. So we're going to turn the front palm up and then reach forward nice and easy and then float back. Just open the chest and the ribs. Good. And then keep lifting up out of the back so you're not dumping into the back. Good. Nice breath into the ribs here. Feel that nice stretch. And then exhale, come back to your warrior two. Good. And then take a breath in. And then let's actually just straighten the legs and lower the arms. Good. And then Let's come back down to warrior two. We're gonna cartwheel our hands down. You're gonna frame that foot, front foot. You're gonna lift your back heel, take those hips up again, and then step back to a downward dog. Good. Good. From here, let's float to a plank pose. Shoulders come above the wrists. Nice. Drop your knees, chest and chin. Slide into a cobra as you open your chest. Pulling forward with the heart. Feet are glued to the floor. Good. Release the chest and chin. You're going to tuck your toes, so you could come through tabletop or you could float straight back to a downward dog. That's optional, so whatever feels better for you today. Good. From our downward dog, you're going to bend the knees, gaze forward, and we're going to bring our right leg through. So you can pull it forward if you need to manually. Make sure you get that nice right angle. Soften the back knee. We're going to do the same thing other side. So knee is above the heel. Soften that knee. And then maybe lift up. So lots of strength to lift, a little balance. Good. Hips nice and even. Add the arms when you're ready. If you like, soften your shoulders. Extend your fingers. Maybe the back leg straightens a bit. Maybe not. So listen to your body. Beautiful. Breathe in. Should be getting a nice deep stretch in that hip flexor in the front. Let's take one more breath. Good. And then slowly we're going to pivot down, turn the back foot down, and open out for warrior two. So I'm going to turn around to face you so you can see me. Check the feet, the alignment of the feet. So heel to arch or heel to heel. Good. Again, that right angle here, we're opening this knee so it's not collapsing in. Good. Back foot's nice and firm. Nice and tall in the spine. Gaze to the front hand. Let's take a breath here. So you want that front foot nice and square. So open that out maybe a little bit more. Yeah. Nice. Good. Awesome. Breathe in. We're going to turn our front palm up and then just reach forward. Inhale. Reach and exhale, float back. Peaceful warrior. So the key in this one is to keep that leg bent, keep it working, and then we're lifting and opening this front side of our ribs, but we're not dumping and leaning on the back here. We're lifting. Good. Deep breath. The breath is nice to sort of stretch those ribs. Good. Exhale, let's come back to warrior two. Nice and tall. And then you're going to gaze to the front hand again. Breathe in. And then exhale, cartwheel your hands down. Frame that foot. We'll lift the back heel up. And then step back up to forward bend. So we're meeting at forward fold. Top of the mat. And just notice where you are. Maybe the legs are opening a little bit. Let's round it up, nice and slow. Tuck your tailbone all the way back to the top of your mat. Shrug your shoulders and open your chest. Good. Back to our mountain pose. So we're going to do one more round where we'll build in pigeon for the outside of our hip. We've worked the front of the hip quite a bit. And this is all going to help the back. Of course, cobra helps the back as well. Just stretching the hamstrings, everything helps the back. So we'll get into that. So the thing I want to caution on the next round that we do is if you have any knee pain or issues, you don't want to do the pose. So just listen to your body and then I can give an alternate if you need it. So here we are, mountain pose, nice and tall. We're going to reach back behind us as we inhale, lift. Deep breath in, touch hands, exhale, soften the knees, swan dive, forward fold. Off the forehead. Inhale, come into your flat back, lengthen your spine. And exhale as you fold again. So we're planting our hands next to our feet. And this time we're going to step the right and the left leg back. So we're going to come back and kind of start in a plank pose. And then you're gonna send your hips up and come to downward dog. Yeah, perfect. Good, from downward dog. So you don't have to do this next thing if it feels too much. Make sure your hands are rooted. You're gonna take one leg, maybe your right leg, up in the sky. Three-legged dog. So try to keep your shoulders even as you lift that right leg up. Bend the knee. Keep the tailbone a little bit tucked to protect the back. And then we're going to squeeze the bent knee up. So you're going to take that bent leg up, pull it forward, and kind of hover. Use your core strength to pull the leg through nice and slow. And then you're going to plant the bent knee between your hands in the front. So if this bothers your knee, is everyone okay with the knee? Are you okay? You feel okay? So we're in this position here. You're going to come onto fingertips. So your back leg is nice and straight. And then you want your hips to be equal to the floor. So you don't want to turn and sit. Yeah, that's it. Nice. Inhale, breathe into the chest. Good. And then exhale, you can stay here or you can walk forward. You can come to forearms, stack fists, rest on the forehead. Or you might come all the way down. See how that feels. So you should be getting a nice stretch in the outer hip. Some people feel this in the inner thigh as well. But just make sure your back feels comfortable here. You're not twerking your sacrum in the back. So breathing here. Soften your jaw and your brow. So you might relax, your forehead. Make sure your shoulders are soft. And then I'll just do a brief demo if you need for the knee. If the knee is uncomfortable, you can come to the back and take figure 4 instead if this bothers your knee. So you cross one leg on top, you reach the same arm as the top leg through the hole, connect here, and same stretch, but not on the knee. So totally up to you. If your knee feels okay, you could stay here in the pigeon. So up to you. Just wanted to show you that alternate. So if you need it for your knee, just in case. Good. Let's take another breath or two here. Just keep relaxing into that hip. Good. And we'll slowly take your time. We're going to walk your hands back. We're going to bring them next to that knee again and open the chest here. So bring the shoulders back and we're going to take a deep breath into the lungs here. Take a nice deep breath in. Plant your hands, tuck your back toes. You're going to lift the knee and step it back to your downward dog. So unfurl from your pigeon and maybe pedal the feet a little bit. Good. And then we'll kind of come back to your downward dog. Shoulders back, chest relaxed, head is relaxed. And then you'll take the left leg in the sky. Try to keep the shoulders even. Left leg stretches up. Bend your knee. Keep your tailbone a little bit tucked or a little tight. Pull the knee in. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Use your core strength to pull the bent leg through and plant it right between your hands in the front. Back leg stretches straight back. Leg is nice and straight. You're not turning your ankle or sickling your ankle. So keep the top of the foot down. Come onto your fingertips, open the chest, take a deep breath here. Good, and then slowly make your way down as you exhale for pigeon on this side. And again, if you need the alternate for the knee, figure 4 in the back. And your hips are nice and even. And we're softening and breathing. Good. So relax here. Deep breaths in and out. I also sometimes like in this position to visualize stress and tension in the hip. I know especially for women, I guess guys have super tight hips too, but I think we store a lot of energy in the hips. So it's nice to sometimes visualize that energy and just letting it go with the breath. Visualize the dark energy leaving the hip area. Jaws relaxed, brow relaxed. one more breath here. Good, and then we're gonna slowly walk your hands back. We're gonna come onto our fingertips again and draw the shoulders back behind us. Take a deep breath here in your pigeon while you're nice and open. Plant your hands, tuck your back toes, and slowly make your way to downward dog. Pedal the feet. Good. And we'll just drop the knees. Coming down to all fours. And then I'm gonna face you guys, but you can stay whichever direction you want. So I'm gonna stretch my legs out. I'm gonna lift the flesh away from my sitting bones. And this is another place you might want to sit up on a blanket or a prop if you need to, or you might not need to. I don't think I really need to, so I'm not going to use it, but feel free to use that. So lifting the flesh, lengthening up tall, so legs are extended. We're going to bring your hands next to your hips just for a moment to lift up. Feel that, how much energy it takes just to lift through the torso here with the legs extended. And then we're going to sweep the arms up. Inhale. Good. And the legs can be a little bit bent. They don't have to be totally straight. Soften the shoulders, open the chest. And then you're going to lengthen forward. Keep reaching, 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 hinging from your hips. So we're not rounding our back. We're lengthening. And if this hurts at all, don't do it. Reach, reach, reach. So, and then let the hands land anywhere on the legs that they land when you can't reach any further without rounding. So reach until you can't, until you feel like you need to round, and then just let the hands fall anywhere on the legs. And then I want you to draw your shoulders back, open your chest. Yeah, good. Good, and you should still feel that stretch in the legs, hopefully, right? Leaning, even if you're not very far, it's okay. So you're breathing, and then I want you to tuck your chin a little bit so the crown of the head is in line with the spine. Breathe in, grow tall, and then exhale, soften. So you're just slowly, incrementally moving with the breath. Legs are pretty straight. And it's nice to visualize the breath starting from the base of your spine, moving up through the crown of your head. So grow tall on your inhale. And on your exhale, just relax. Good. So a couple breaths like that. So we're trying to kind of fold ourselves slowly in half without rounding the back. And we'll get to rounding in a second. Good. So one more breath here. And then let's go ahead and gently round the forehead toward the legs. You're going to feel that move into your back instead of your legs. Relax your shoulders. Bow forward. Take a breath here. Good. One more breath. Good. Walk your hands slowly back. Come up nice and slow. And we started a little late, so I think I'll go a little bit after the hour, if that's okay for folks. I understand if you have to go, but hopefully you can stick with me. So I'm going to bring my hands now behind me, under my shoulders. I'm going to bend my knees and place my feet about hip width apart. Just a little counter stretch for that forward fold we just did. Open your shoulders back, lift your chest, breathe in, and then just gently press into the hands and the feet and lift your hips. Just a little lift to the back. So legs or feet should be hip width apart, knees about the same. So you can bring the knees hip width apart. Good. And then slowly come back down. Good. Stretch your legs out. And then we're going to come all the way down to the mat. So we're going to come to the long edge of your mat or whatever you're laying on. Lift the flesh. And then glue the feet to the floor. So try to keep your heels in contact with the floor. You're going to take your hands on your thighs and you're going to tuck your chin and just Use your core strength to slowly lower down. We're going to come all the way to the back. All the way down. Good. So once you get onto the floor, you're going to stretch one leg out and take one knee into your chest. So squeeze the knee in. The other leg can stretch out if that's comfortable. Good. So squeezing that knee in. Let's draw some circles with the big toe. A nice release for the low back. And then the other direction, reverse your circles. Good. Squeezing that knee in. And then just stretch that leg up into the sky. It doesn't have to be straight. Holding on behind your thigh if you can. You could use a towel or a strap here too. And then you're going to press that foot up a little bit, wherever is comfortable. So you could use a strap here too if that's too tight, whatever works for you. So what we want to do here is we're going to create a little resistance and release. So we're going to start with the holding on behind the thigh, and then you're going to press the leg into your hands at the same time you're pulling the hands into the leg. So you're creating a little tension. So push into the hands and pull, tense and create that tension. Breathing in, and then as you exhale, just relax and release. And then maybe that brings your leg a little bit closer to your body. So let's do that one more time. So we're going to press away. So push the leg out into the hands. You might feel a little traction for your shoulders here too. Push, push, push. And then relax and soften. Good. Keeping that leg in the air. Yeah. Good. Good. Let's bend the knee, bring it into the chest one more time. Squeeze it in. And then send the leg out. And then just kind of shift the legs around and just notice the difference between each leg. So hopefully that leg we just stretched feels a little closer to the floor, maybe a little bit longer. So let's take the other knee into the chest and do the same thing. Squeeze the knee in and start to make some circles with your toe. And reverse your circles. Squeezing in. Good. And then send the leg up to the sky. Hold on behind the thigh. And again, the leg can be bent. You could use a strap or a towel here if you need. And then we'll create that little bit of tension. So we're going to press the leg away into the hands. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Breathe in. On your exhale, relax. And just draw the leg a little bit closer. Good. Let's do that again. So inhale, squeeze, press out. Breathe. Create that tension. Tight, tight, tight. And then relax and pull the leg in a little closer. Good. Let's bend the knee, bring it into the chest again once more. Squeeze it in. Good, and then slowly send the leg out. Just see how that feels. Good, and let's do one more little exercise for the back. So bend your knees and place your feet on the floor. The feet should be hip width apart, so about 2 fists. So knees bent, feet on the floor. Bring your hands to the floor, palms down. Walk your hands as close to your heels as you can get them. And then make sure that your chin is parallel. That your chin is not lifted. So if your chin is lifted and the back of the neck feels crunched, take a towel or a prop under your head so that the neck is just nice and neutral, right? We want the neck nice and long. So for this next exercise, I want you to make sure you're looking straight up at the ceiling, so not looking at me. And then we're just going to do a little pelvic lifts, a little bridge pose. So you could watch first and then try it if you want to watch first. But just don't turn your head and do it at the same time. So neck is nice and long and straight. You're going to inhale, press into hands and feet, and slowly peel up. Just lift the hips up. as you breathe in, and then exhale as you come down. So nice, easy pelvic tilt. Yeah, so keep the head straight. Good, inhale, lift, come up again. Deep breath in and exhale, lower. Let's do one more of those. We're gonna inhale, lift. You might stop, pause at the top here. Maybe bring your shoulders under your chest a little. And then take a nice deep breath in at the top. Good, and then exhale, slowly come down one vertebra at a time. Good, windshield wiper your legs a little side to side. Let's take the knees into the chest. Good. And just give yourself a little massage on your back. So you can rock a little side to side. You might make some circles on the back. And you might reverse your circles if you're making some circles. Good. Squeeze those knees in one more time. And then lower the feet to the floor. So if you have any tension in your back at all, you can keep your knees bent and your feet on the floor, maybe feet about mat width apart, a little bit wide. Knees fall toward the midline to support each other. If your back feels okay, you can stretch your legs all the way out. So up to you. Whatever feels better. You're going to tuck your shoulders under your chest to open the heart. Let the palms face up. And then just rock your head gently side to side. Bring the head back to center. Good. So getting comfortable. We'll just be here for a few minutes at the end of our practice to kind of relax and incorporate all the poses that we just did. So eyes closed gently. You can part your lips a little bit so your jaw is relaxed. And just gently come back to the body and the breath. Not forcing anything, just breathing and relaxing. So relax your entire body completely. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Inside out through the mouth. You can make a little sound. Relax. 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 So it's sometimes nice to visualize yourself in a beautiful place, wherever you would like to be, your favorite place. Just go there in your mind. As your body continues to relax and let go. Stay where you are. All right, so I'm going to ring the bell. So if you're still on your back, you're going to roll onto the right side of your body. Come into a fetal pose for just a moment to notice any changes between the now and the beginning of practice. Maybe recall if you set an intention for your practice. Good, and then nice and slow, you're going to use your left hand to push yourself back up to a comfortable seat. You're going to come back up to your easy pose. So you might use your blanket or prop again. Sitting up nice and tall. Good, and then let's inhale nice and slowly as we breathe in deep. Gather some energy. Deep breath in, connect your hands at the top, we'll lower them down to our heart. And bow to yourself with gratitude for practicing today. We'll bow to each other. Namaste.